Yellow Sea, the best example of an epicontinental seabed found on Earth. Since the last glacial maximum, part of the land, which was once a continental boundary, has been submerged because of rising sea levels and has become a shallow sea. The area has changed into a vast continental shelf, being located along the Pacific Ocean's Ring of Fire, an area with an abundance of volcanic activity and earthquakes. As a result of rising sea levels, thousands of islands have been created along the southwest coast of Korea, an area with a high concentration of tall mountains along the Yellow Sea. Most of Korea's major rivers run to the southwestern coast, supplying an abundance of sediments from the lands they flow through. This area has large tidal ranges of up to 10 meters. Rapid tidal currents due to macro-tidal ranges have created complex channels between numerous rocky islands. With a tide which flows in and out every 6 hours, terrigenous sediments accumulate to form various tidal flat landforms. The tidal flats of Korea, of which inscription on the UNESCO World Heritage List is underway, are comprised of the Socheon, Gochang, Shinan, and Bosang Suncheon Getbols. The Shinan Getbol is an archipelagic type of tidal flat and surrounds approximately 850 islands, accounting for 85% of the total nominated area. The Shinan Getbol covers a total area of 110,086 hectares. It is home to various kinds of sedimentary landforms, as well as deep tidal channels and gullies, which are necessary to form tidal flats between numerous islands. The high geodiversity of this tidal flat serves as a place for countless tidal flat organisms to live, feed, and rest. The 67,254 hectare buffer zone, the boundaries of which were set in consideration of both the proper range for protecting the nominated area and the influential range of human activities, includes most of the major inhabited islands in Shinan County. The Shinan Getbol exhibits the typical characteristics of archipelagic type tidal flats. Thick mud flats cover many islands, and macro-tidal currents flow into the islands, creating deep tidal channels. Additionally, thick and vast tidal flats with more than 25 meters in average thickness have developed in the area. The archipelago, tidal current, seasonal wind, and many other factors have contributed to the high geodiversity of the Shinan Getbol. Various sedimentary landforms, from mud flats, sand flats, mixed flats, sand dunes, and salt marshes to deep tidal channels, can be found across this broad Shinan Getbol area. A unique sedimentary body called a sand gravel string can also be found here. In the outer parts of the numerous rocky islands within the Shinan Getbol, sand flats have been formed by waves, whilst the inner areas have been protected by the surrounding islands from the ocean waves, creating large and deep mud flats as a result of the tidal currents. This is the typical distribution of sediment seen at these archipelagic tidal flats. Most notably, sand gravel strings sculpted by strong storms are a unique landform which can be found nowhere else on the planet. The Shinan Getbol exhibits rich biodiversity of species living in a variety of habitats. 188 benthic diatom species, 144 marine algae species, 568 macrobenthos species, and 90 waterbird species inhabit the Shinan Getbol. In particular, the species diversity of macrobenthos and seaweed of these tidal flats are the highest among the components of the nominated area, and those of macrobenthos are amongst the highest in the world. In the broad Shinan tidal flats, we can find the best representative of community evolution process in mud octopuses feeding on Japanese mud crabs, becoming a top predator within this ecosystem. As one of the main stopover sites in the East Asian Australasian Flyway, the Shinan Getbol supports approximately 54,000 waterbirds across 90 different waterbird species. A large number of uninhabited islands in this area serve as the best place for these birds to feed and breed. In addition, these tidal flats also support 14 threatened species on the IUCN Red List, including eastern curlews, great knots, pocards, Chinese egrets, and Sanders's gulls. Fishing activities harmonized with nature, such as bare-hand fishing by local residents, have already become a part of the tidal flat ecosystem. Local residents are trying to utilize the tidal flats in a wiser and more sustainable way through voluntary regulation and no fishing periods. The Shinan Getbol, a vast repository of tidal flats. It is a gift of nature and also a great asset for the future that we should endeavor to protect.